We've been talking a lot all season about the development of the young guys, of Colt Keith.
Yes,
Trey
sir.
Sweeney just got called up. Jace Young just got called up. And that comes from a Tigers middle infield lineage that started with the man to my right. And that's World Series champion Alan Trammell. Mr. Trammell, thank you so much for being here.
One of my favorite numbers
That was a
is
nice
3.
lead in
Let's
there.
go.
Well done.
Let's go.
Go Tigers. Nice little walk-off last night. I hope the Tiger fans are excited. I know that we're not there yet, but I do like the progress, and I do like the fact that we're bringing some of the kids back up. And it's exciting for me, to be honest with you. And I hope that the fans agree. But
They do.
obviously a nice exposure, national exposure, Sunday night baseball. The boys
That Little League
did it.
Classic. It
Yeah.
was
Very nice.
fun.
Awesome environment.
And Kirk on the flagship radio station for the Detroit Tigers said a couple months ago, just be patient. Patient, and that's the word that not a lot of fans want to hear. But from your perspective, you got to be excited about what's going on with that team, the youth movement, just how A.J. Hinch, Chris Fetter, and crew are taking this team for what it is and starting to really build something.
They are. They're building something. Good way to describe it, and I'll second that. And just is it of nature for all of us. We're all impatient, and we want it. And it's been a while. Let's be honest.
You don't
but,
say.
You've got to do it, and we're doing it the right way. We really are. There's a few more bumps along the road. Obviously, playing professional sports, it's not just going to be given to you. You know, you're competing against other teams that are trying to do the same thing you are, win. But I do believe that the foundation is being set, and that it's going to be an exciting 6 weeks because, again, there's going to be a couple bumps. But for the most part, those kind of wins like last night and the development that you're seeing from a guy like, the walk-off with Parker Meadows, Jace Young getting his first Major League RBI in the bottom of the ninth to get it into extra innings. Those are all good things.
Yeah.
And obviously Tarek Skubal doing his thing. What a year he's having. So, again, we've got some pieces that it's going to be part of a championship team, which is what all Tiger fans are looking for.
Yep. And obviously you've been a part of what that feels like. You've also seen other good Tigers teams be formed after your team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to this current Tigers team? Because you believe in the foundation, but you also understand that they're going to go through some ups and some downs and some bumps before they ultimately get to where they want to go. What do you say to them to encourage them through that?
Well, one of the things is you have to the way you find out about a player, be honest with you, in any sport or really in any profession, is that you've got to go through some adversity. And you need to find out what they're really made of. Because when things are going good, well, it's easy. But that's not going to happen. That's not reality. Things are going to, at some point, it's going to fall off. And what do you do? How do you respond? And so these challenges that you go through, and again, we're going to get into Kirk Gibson, the challenges, that's what Kirk Gibson's all about, is a challenge, taking that on. But these young kids now are starting to learn. And so there's been a couple of times, and I know that we all have looked at it as like, well, here we go, we're going this way. And all of a sudden we've responded every time. And so those are the signs. Those are the signs that to develop a good club, that's what you do.
You said it right there.
We're on the right track.
You said it right there. That's one thing that we've been tracking. Our guy, Matt Broder here, who covers the Tigers for the network, he's been saying it's going to be a roller coaster.
Oh, no.
But as the season goes on, you're going to see that this team is hovering right around 500. We've talked about the fact that they continue to fight off the wheels just falling off the bus. They continue to show that they're going to put forth the effort, the work, and then, like you always say, Broder, it's cool to see these young players also making an impact.
Right.
It's an awesome thing to see.
Well, you're right. Again, I'll second that, but I'm going back years and years ago when our nucleus came up, including yours truly right here. The stories always get better when you get older. They forget we failed quite a bit ourselves, but we kept getting back up, and eventually it led to the championship and some pretty good clubs for quite a long time. But again, we started somewhere. Everybody has to start somewhere and go through these ups and downs as we've just described. But I think back to, how we did it back then, and it's really no secret, developing from within your farm system, drafting, developing your players. This isn't new. This isn't some sort of new concept. They've been trying, organizations have been trying to do this forever. But it doesn't always work. Obviously, you've got to get the right players and then put the work in. Well, it worked for us back then. They're still trying to do it. And then when you get to a level that you're like, you know that you're close, that's when you can add and get over that final hurdle. And I think that we're getting close, but the nucleus has got to come from within, and I think that's where I'm excited, because I do know, and just watching and seeing and from afar, because I'm only around occasionally, but I'm watching. That again, I like what I see.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
Yeah, and Mr. Trammell, you talked about overcoming adversity. I do want to ask you about Kirk Gibson and your relationship with him, what he means to you, and what it means to be able to support what he's doing. Of course, he was a part of that nucleus of that '84 World Series team with you both. With my former coach Dave Bergman, rest in peace. So, what does
good man Bergie for sure? Yep.
It was. What does Kirk Gibson mean to you, and being out here to support him?
Well, just trying to put it in some sort of instead of taking a half hour, because I love the man, and as I mentioned earlier about how he's lived his life, everything he's done, it's a challenge, as I mentioned before. But I'm saying it again because, again, the biggest challenge he has right now is dealing with Parkinson's. So a lot of times with the Parkinson's, people, obviously it's tough. There's no question about it. But what he tries to do, and obviously the raising the money and the awareness, but come to that person and say, hey, you've got to take this on. You can't hide. We have to deal with that. And again, that's how Kirk Gibson lives his life. And it's awesome when you see him come up to somebody and you can see them come out of their shell a little bit. And this is how, again, it's a terrible, terrible disease. There's no question about it. But again, like in life, do you quit or do you keep pushing?
Yeah, do you fight?
Well, obviously we know that answer. You keep pushing, and that's Kirk Gibson in a nutshell. And I love the man. Again, playing with him, he is a very intelligent man, and I just give him all the credit in the world that, again, he's, he has his better days, some days not so good, some days a little better, but the fact is he shows up every day. He posts every day. And he's got a huge heart. And again, we're here for a reason, to raise some funds to hopefully someday beat this thing.
Yeah. So I'll leave you with this last question. Why I love baseball so much, it's a game of overcoming adversity. You have to learn how to deal with failure, learn how to deal with heartache.
That you do.
You do, especially these young kids. How optimistic should the fans be about Colt Keith?
Oh, well, you know what? When you take away the first month and look at his numbers, he's arguably the top rookie in the American League. Oh, yeah. So again, that first month does count, but again, that's a learning experience. So what did he do? Did he quit? Did he go home? Absolutely not. He kept pushing, and now, he's respectable, more than respectable.
Yeah.
But that's how the kids develop. And so
I love it.
Credit to Colt Keith and the staff working with him, but Colt Keith's ultimately the one that goes out there and performs. You can only help somebody. We can talk, and then you have to go out there and do it. And that was the exciting part as a player that I certainly enjoyed, and many others. But Colt Keith's a good one, and he's part of our nucleus for sure.
I was going to say, you would know, happy 40th.
Oh,
happy
it's coming
40th.
Up. We got a little reunion coming up very shortly, less than 2 weeks. So we're going to get a chance to see quite a few of our teammates, and I'm smiling because just like when you see, anytime Gibby and I get together, Rosie, Lance Parrish, Dan P., all the rest of the guys, even though we're older, we're still big little kids, and we reminisce, and the stories never get old. It's always good to see them.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Trammell, thank you so much for joining us and for being here today. We're so excited to be a part of this event. It was really great talking to you.
Well, appreciate you coming out and supporting Kirk Gibson's charity golf tournament and raising awareness and some funds.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
Fantastic.